Hi, welcome to Angels Plus. I'm Steve, and we're going to discuss this week food storage. This is a question that we get very frequently. People want to know how long will their food last, how do they store it best, and we're going to delve into that subject this week. So, probably the most frequent question would be the one on how long will the food last? You know, what's the expiration date? All this kind of stuff. Well, when you receive the food from us, it'll come into this nice foil package here. It's got a foil-lined bag, an oxygen absorber in it. It's going to last for years in this bag. I mean, it's like one of those freeze-dried meals. You can open it up and eat it 12 years later, and it's still okay. But that's kind of irrelevant when it comes to feeding your fish, because of course before you feed your fish you've got to open the bag. Once it's open, all bets are off. There are no studies that say that in 70% humidity at 83 degrees it's going to last X number of days before it loses X percentage of nutritional value. It's different for everyone. If you live in Phoenix, it's 10% humidity, temperature is cool in your basement or you've got it refrigerated. You know, it's going to be a different time frame than if you live in Seattle. It's 100% humidity and, you know, you've got it at 86 degrees and it's constantly being moistened by humidity and other things. So there is no reliable indication of how long the food's going to last once you open it up. That's all going to be determined by your special circumstances. So the key is to treat it like food. It is food. It's like people food. It's like dog food. It's like any food. All food is affected by certain things. One being temperature. That's why we have refrigerators. Warmer temperatures, bacteria grows faster, food spoils quicker. Light, that's why we don't put it on the shelf somewhere, because light causes food to lose nutritional value. UV rays destroy things, you know. So basically we're going to take care of this food as if it was something we were going to eat. We wouldn't leave the egg salad out on the counter at 80 degrees, and we're not going to leave the fish food out on the fish room counter at 80 degrees and open to the you know, to the atmosphere. So storage is a little bit of common sense. You know, we're going to take care of this as if we were going to eat it ourselves. All right, now we're going to get a little bit more specific on exactly what might happen to your food. Now, if you get your food from someplace and it's a bulk package and it's plastic like this and it's clear, there's some things to keep in mind. All clear plastic is permeable to oxygen, all of it. There's just different degrees of permeability. Some, like breather bags made for packing your fish in, are made for high permeability, so oxygen goes through it very, very quickly. We're after low permeability. Unfortunately, there is no clear plastic on the planet that has low permeability. They may call it low, but in reality, it's about 1,000 times higher than this. Until we get to containers where there's almost no permeability, like a container that's hard, metal, thick plastic, you know, you're going to have some permeability in everything. It's super, super low on a foil-lined bag. It's very, very low on a very thick plastic metal container. The problem with this is when you open it up, if there's a small amount of food in there and then you close the top, you're enclosing a new supply of oxygen in there. Oxygen is the enemy. Oxygen oxidizes with vitamins and minerals, and it causes bacteria to grow, and bacteria decomposes the food, so we don't want bacterial growth. In fact, one real surefire sign that your food isn't doing as good as you think it is in plastic is to take a container like this and put some food into a bag like this and set them out on the counter somewhere like this for 2 weeks, open them up and smell them. The smell in this clear plastic bag will disgust you compared to the smell of the fresh food in this bag. And you will know right then and there that you do not want to store your food in this. It takes only a couple weeks for you to smell a rancid, noticeable difference. So don't use these. If you receive your food in this, get it out of there right away. It's bad. Hopefully the person who put it in this didn't put it in there way before you received it. So you want to avoid the clear plastic as much as possible. So then you want to do one of a couple things. If you buy a big quantity and you've only got 2 aquariums, but you bought this to save money, you now have to break this up into smaller quantities, because you open this big bag every day for 1,000 days, and obviously it's going to spoil long before that 1,000 days is up. So maybe you want to take a bunch of smaller containers and split it up into 6, 8, 10 different packages, whatever you might want to do. Seal them very, very good. Make sure it's good packaging. Put them in your refrigerator, freezer. Leave them there to stay pretty much unaffected by bacteria because of the temperature, which is why we put our food in freezers and refrigerators. Then when it comes time to opening this up, and you're going to have like a small bag in your fish room that you keep 2 weeks supply in, and when that runs close to being out, you're going to go into your freezer, open up your bag, and before you open this up, you're going to allow it to come to room temperature. Why? Because this acts as a like a dehumidifier. It's ice cold. You open it up, warm, moist air is all around it. That warm, moist air holds water. As soon as it hits this ice cold food, it condenses on the food, causes it to become wet, causes it to spoil quicker. So you're defeating your purpose of putting it in a refrigerator, a freezer, or a cool space, unless you allow it to come to room temperature before you open the bag up. So you let it, set it out for 1 day, half a day. It's at room temperature. Open it up. Refill your 2-week container, put that in your fish room. It doesn't matter if it's in your fish room, because if you keep it in a 65-degree room and then take it into an 85-degree room, you open it up, you get condensation. 20 degrees is plenty to get condensation. So keep it right in your fish room, or if you don't have a fish room, just keep it near your aquarium at the temperature you're going to be feeding at. Just make sure it's no more than a couple weeks worth. And then repeat that process every couple weeks, and that will help protect your food. Okay, now I'm going to go into a little bit of what Angels Plus does to make sure that when we ship food out, we give you the best product possible. On all of our small sizes, we put them into these foil-lined bags, which have almost a 0 oxygen permeability. So it's protecting you against oxygen. They're also, you can't see, no light penetrates this bag. It's completely opaque. You can put it in the sunshine, it doesn't matter. Light is not going to affect this food. And the other advantage to this Ziploc stand-up bag is that once you open this bag up, you take a little food out, you can compress it, squeeze the air out of it, which is full of that bad oxygen, then Ziploc it. That will keep your food the freshest it can be. And that's why we use these. Now, a lot of people say, I prefer getting it in a can because it won't be as crushed. And it's true, these bags crush food easier. But fish can be trained to eat very tiny flakes. In fact, we feed our fish nothing but the leftover crumbs from our food repacking operation. All of our big fish eat tiny little dust-like pieces of food because they're trained to eat it. They do extremely well on it. So I, having a trade-off, will always take food that is slightly more crushed to food that's been spoiled by oxygen. So this is the best container for you to store your food in, and it's why we spend extra money putting it in a very expensive foil bag so that you can keep it fresh on your end. The other thing that we do is these are individual oxygen absorbers, and we put one of these in all of our foil bags so that when it's in there, when you pack this food, no matter what you do, there is a large amount of oxygen in there that will cause a significant bacterial growth if you don't take it out. So as soon as this food is packed, and we pack it in these as soon as we receive it, and we receive it fresh from the manufacturer, made to our specifications, so it's never more than a week old when we get it into these bags. Then we add an oxygen absorber to it. It sucks the oxygen right out of that bag, makes it look like it's vacuum packed, but it's not. It's oxygen deprived, and that's what you want. Oxygen deprived food is fresh. If I put it in a plastic bag, vacuum seal it, oxygen's still going in there at a rate that will cause decomposition. Also allows light to go in it, which causes this destruction of vitamins and minerals, and UV rays probably denature proteins and all kinds of things. So we don't want that. But anyway, that's an overview of our procedure to get it to you fresh, and you can keep it fresh by following the procedures we outlined earlier. Okay, that wraps it up for this week on the food. If anybody has any useful tips or comments, please leave them in the comment section after the video, and we can maybe somebody give some tips that will help somebody else out. So thanks for watching our video. We appreciate it.